right? People bug me all the time. And they say, well, Larry, where were you 5 years ago? Where were you 3 years ago? I wasn't working in government. I was a private citizen. I was fixing my business and my family from a crash in 2009 that devastated me. That was my job was fixing my family and my business. And I did my job. Their job, literally career politicians, was to make sure our state doesn't fall into a death spiral and we don't have 1 million people leaving in the last 8 years. They failed. I'm running because they suck. That's why I'm running. Yes. In 1 year, I have a movement and plans. They have nothing.
Let's get to some of those plans because they're some of the best, well thought out of the box. I've not heard these before. Let's take infrastructure.
Sure, absolutely. One of the biggest issues we have all the time is how do we repair infrastructure? If you are a Democrat, you will hear the phrase fund. If you're a Republican, you'll hear the phrase invest. I'm sorry, the word invest and the word fund. What those means, more of your taxes. That's what they mean, more of your taxes. And what I'm saying is, why are we doing that? Why are we constantly throwing the same money into a bad system? We have bridges and tunnels right now that still collapse in New York State. That's horrible. All right, several ways we handle this. I'll give you 3 separate ways that we can work. One is just in general infrastructure. We can actually do it to where we lease naming rights to infrastructure. New York State has massive infrastructure, bridges, tunnels, the Erie Canal, massive infrastructure throughout the entire state, right? Tons. Why in the world do we have right now, we have a Mario Cuomo Bridge, which is a bridge named after our imperial family. It's horrible. So we have that right now. That should be the Apple Bridge, the Staple Bridge, the Verizon Bridge, right? So we lease the naming rights out to the bridge. Why would they do this? Well, we already have, they already name stadiums. They do it already. They drop $20 million a year for a stadium that's used on the weekends. They would easily drop $50 or $100 million for a bridge that is mentioned hundreds of times every single day during rush hour in a 16 million person metro area. And hundreds of thousands of cars pass it every single day. Of course, they'd pay for that. But as part of that, we also want them to take care of maintenance. Now, people, of course, go, but then, they won't care and the bridges will collapse. Okay, bridges collapse now. Now they collapse.
Like somebody who could lose their entire company if it collapses wouldn't care. But a government that is faceless, nameless, they care for some reason?
Well, next thing, though, is since we still own the asset, we still inspect it. So inspections still happen. So as the inspection happens, currently, the inspection happens and it goes on a long list of what we'll fix whenever we get to it and the bridge collapses. But in this case, it goes, inspection, great. Staples, fix the bridge in 6 months or you lose the contract. The bridge gets fixed. We actually have safer bridges. But the best part about having safer bridges is we don't pay for it. I just lowered spending. And on top of that, if there's less government money going out, there's less corruption. So if you just lowered corruption, lowered spending, safer bridges, not a bad deal. But here's the best part. If they're paying for this, why should we have tolls? And you lived in New York. You know how bad those tolls are. Some bridges, $15 to cross. And if you're a trucker like I used to be, you pay per axle. Every axle you're paying $15. Changes everything. But I'm not done with that. In this one that I'm talking about now is just the MTA, meaning just downstate. The MTA has massive rail lines, right? It goes out to Long Island, upstate, all over. Why aren't these rail lines being used at night for freight? They're not being used at all right now. Passengers aren't going around at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So why isn't freight coming in? Freight lines come in. Why would they do that? Okay, number one, it's cheaper than trucks. Number two, less wear and tear in the city, less truck traffic in Manhattan, right? No more 18-wheelers running into Manhattan. Bring them that way, right?
And they have to come at night anyway.
They come at night anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So instead, bring them on this instead. Of course, it's their stuff, so they'll pay for maintenance on the rails, which passengers use during the day. Yet again, they will pay for it. We have a system like this already. We basically do this for airports, right? The airports, they rent out their gates. We have the system already. I'm not making these things up out of nowhere. It already exists. Same idea here. Again, raising money, and fixing our infrastructure. And safer. We have derailments already in Amtrak. But now if they have to pay for it, again, we still own the asset. We only lease out naming rights. But I'm still not done. Now straight up state. Erie Canal. Erie Canal has, give or take, 520 some odd miles, about 33, 34 different locks. Right now, the Erie Canal costs us about $100 million every year, including capital projects. We make less than $5 million.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's nothing but a big loss. How about instead, we give out naming rights to all the locks? It's the McDonald's lock, the Taco Bell lock, the Burger King lock, and, oh, you know what? Maybe McDonald's wants them all. $1 billion, take them all, right? You have all of them. I don't care, whatever the number is. Great. They can all become tourist traps. I mean, tourist sites. And then all of a sudden at that point, we make that happen, and we rebuilt the entire Erie Canal, and we make it viable. But I'm going to do something else. Right now, the Erie Canal does one thing very well. It smells. Really good at that. But that's about it. But I want to put Hovercraft on it. And I mean Hovercraft for a very specific reason. Because Hovercraft's really cool. And cool Hovercraft would bring youth back to our state. Because someone's got to figure out how to put it on the Erie Canal. Someone's got to figure out how it works in the locks. Look, when I was in the Marine Corps 30 years ago, we had Hovercraft that could take a tank across the ocean. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's something cool now. I don't know what that technology is. I don't care what it is. I know it's amazing. We'll put it on the Erie Canal, and someone will want to slap the name on the side of a Hovercraft, and we'll raise more money. We'll raise money, make things exciting, better life. We build our infrastructure out, but I'm still not done. There's one more left. Someone asked me, there's an interstate, upstate, I-81, and someone said, it's collapsing, Larry. How are you going to fund it? And I said, I'm not. I said, what? I said, I'm not going to fund it. So what are you talking about? It's destroyed. Great. My answer is Google Road. There's always space on the sides of all these interstates. Put a Google Road down the middle of it, or on the side of it, whatever's the appropriate thing to do. Or one of those magnet rails, one of those things. Put that down, right? So what company X wants to build one, great. Put it between Rochester and Syracuse. There's your road, your Google Road. Put it up. Here's your rent. Your rent to keep that road is maintenance on the interstate. So now you have two choices. You can use the interstate if you want to, or drive the cool Google Road, whatever the case may be. You get both. More options, more choices. We don't pay any extra cash. And since we're still inspecting it, if they want to keep the Google Road, they have to maintain the road. So we get road maintenance. Again, everybody wins. And what happens? We get more people with more choices and less taxes. We have to push spending down. People always say, Larry, you don't talk about lowering taxes much. I don't. I talk far more about lowering spending so that I can push surpluses to the individual counties so that counties themselves can become heroes. And there's a reason why I want that. There's two reasons. Reason number one, when I take over, I'm going to have people against me. That's how it works. I know that. I've done this in business before, right? I go into a business and I'm a new business and I'm a guy who's an outsider and they think, who's this guy? One of the ways you do that is to make the local managers heroes, right? Then they begin to support you. Same concept in government. I will now allow the local people to be the ones who decide on tax cuts. I'm the guy allowing them to start putting tax cut bills together. They put their name on it. I sign it. Yes, you are amazing. I will sign that in a heartbeat. Your name's on it, not mine. You will see I'm giving you an opportunity to be a hero. Less chance you fight me. Less chance you fight me. But more important, I don't know what taxes are hurting every individual. I don't live in there's 62 counties in New York State. I don't know all of them. I know what's killing me in Queens. But I don't know what's killing you in Rochester or Ontario County or wherever you are. I don't know. So how about your local people tell me? And let them do whatever they want. I'm about reducing spending. We do that, now we can lower taxes locally.